Bacon Bit. Bacon Bit.
Is that smooth synth pop?
Mouth breather, Bacon Bit.
X-Files.
Oh.
That was the X-Files song, right?
That was terrible.
That was. No, it's
Joel, set him right, Joel. Count on Joel to be able to do that.
Was that Pink Panther?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your noise, the Horton whinny at the end there.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to this Bacon Bit. We're going to be discussing Stranger Things Season 3.
Yes, we are.
Even though we haven't discussed season 1 or 2.
No, that's
We haven't, have we?
we've really done a TV show review.
We've never done a TV show review?
Not that I can think of.
Surely we have.
Have we? Oh, we did. No, we did yours, The Last Kingdom.
Yeah.
That was a Bacon
but
Bit.
was that... Yeah, that was more of a recommendation
a good show. We haven't done a good show yet.
You're right, though, because...
One that people care about.
You're dead to me.
We're looking for events, but also TV shows. It's hard to be exactly timely because this is a week after it was released.
Well, we wanted to give enough time for people to have seen it, even
Including
the
us.
slowpokes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even us. For the most
Even
part.
us. But and we have another episode, Stranger Things related, coming out Monday, just so you know.
Yeah.
But today we just want to talk about Stranger Things episode 3 or season 3, excuse me, and we are going to be discussing it a spoiler-free review to begin, followed by a spoiler-full review after that.
Yeah, exactly. So, wow, is this going to be a long review or are we going to keep it a little bit tighter?
Full
We'll keep it
disclosure, you guys have both seen the whole season. I have one episode left.
I know Jacob. My hats off to Jacob. I think he watched all the episodes like in a day.
Yeah, about a day and a half. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of Jacob's MO though. He procrastinates until right before we have to do something, and then he binges it, and then he hates it because he binged it.
I did the same thing you did, Jake.
Except for the last part. That's all true.
I did the day and a half, but it was right when it came out because, you know me. Like, I
4th of
need
July?
to be...
You didn't want to be out in the fireworks?
I had nothing to do over the weekend.
But there's a difference between binging because you want to and binging because you have to.
You're like, hey,
Right.
girl, there's no more Game of Thrones, but you want to watch Stranger Things season
I
3?
literally watched 2 episodes with a girl, and I had to go back and watch one of them.
What happened?
Anyway, so if you
What happened,
even if you
he
haven't
He couldn't
seen
see through her, Joel.
even if you haven't seen Stranger Things
tried.
season 3, or if you haven't seen any of Stranger Things, you can still listen to this first part and just hear our impressions about it. We're not going to get too deep in the weeds.
Yeah.
Ken, is it me or is it really easy to picture? Actually, I should say, Joel, is it me? Or is it really easy to picture Kent kissing somebody and with one
what?
eye on the screen the
Ew.
whole time? He's like,
I don't want to picture Kid kissing
he's like still watching the show.
No, don't do it.
He's still watching.
He's looking for something to
I-
kiss.
I want-
And she's like,
looking
"Are
for
you
a prop."
watching the show right now?" And
This
you're
is
like,
like
"No,
this.
no, no,
No,
I'm not.
yeah.
I'm not."
Anyway.
Like, honestly, I did. I was like, oh, man, I'm going to have to rewatch this episode.
So just to give a real brief background.
He just moves right along.
Yeah.
A brief background on this. This is the 3rd season. It's been going on for how many years now?
This is 3
3
years.
years?
So it's
Yeah.
every year and a half they do I would say it's an event. This is a pop
And they're
culture
choosing a
event.
different time of year to release.
Yeah, before they did.
Oh yeah. So the first season is a Christmas time.
Yeah.
The second season is
Right on
Halloween.
Halloween, and now
this one's 4th of July.
4th of July. What's
so
next?
I kind of like that.
Easter Bunny.
Arbor Day.
Thanksgiving. Oh, that's too close to Christmas. What's the opposite of like?
I bet the next one is maybe when they go
President's
back to school.
Day, maybe.
I'm going to say this, and
Labor Day?
This is
Oh,
not
back to school could
spoilers,
work,
but
yeah.
I think they're going to try to film this next one ASAP because these kids are getting older.
They are.
True.
And as a,
Taller.
yeah, as a summary for the show, and if should we do all of Stranger? No, we're going to do that.
We're
in
just
a
going
full
to Stranger
show.
Things. Yeah, full show.
Okay, Stranger Things season 3. The gang picks it back up. Everything seems to be going okay. No one is really under a trance or a coma or anything.
Yeah.
8 episodes.
But then there is, bad vibes and something rears its ugly head again.
Yes.
That's really all I need to know. Basically, this town is creepy and everyone should move.
It's a
That's the
hellmouth.
truth.
It's essentially
Yeah,
a
it
hellmouth
is, yeah.
from
Yeah.
Buffy. So my feelings on Stranger Things, this is a surprise hit. I mean,
Hold on. Are you going to do spoiler-free review and
Yeah.
with a grade like we do for
yeah,
movies?
just like that.
Okay.
So my impression of Stranger Things is it was one I kind of looked forward to, but I don't think anyone anticipated it would be as big as it was
When it first came out.
when it first came out.
Because now it's like,
We can talk about this in our
There's a
episodes
countdown,
coming up
yeah.
on Monday. But for me, I liked the first season a lot. Like I thought it was a very fun retro feel, a nostalgia machine.
Right.
Second season was fine. I didn't think I liked it.
There was a few misses in the second season.
There were. I still liked it.
I feel like when the second season came out, everyone were like, they loved it. Up until
Really?
now, yeah. Because it was like the new hotness, as you like to say. Everyone's like, "Yep, I've always loved this show. Season 2 is amazing." And now that there is maybe a better third season, they're like, "Yeah, season 2 is okay."
So, and then
Could
the third season came out, and I was like, oh, yeah. But I wasn't like, oh, I can't wait. But I was like, oh, good. I look forward to watching these shows. And it's, like Jacob said, 8 episodes, 50 minutes each.
Yeah.
Real quick season of TV that you can watch. I feel like this season went a little lighter than season 2. It was like they dipped into the dark in season 2 a little more, and this one popped back out a little more light. In fact, I would call
Which is
this
more like season 1, though, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And I hesitate to say this around Kent. And Jacob, you'll know why as soon as I say it.
Okay.
But I feel like this is the Thor Ragnarok of Stranger Things. It's brighter, it's more colorful, a little more lighthearted, a little more jokey.
You're
And
making Kent rethink his
I know,
whole
that's
grade
why I
right
hesitate.
now.
Honestly, but I really are. My brain is doing this thing right now.
but I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun season. I liked that they kept the story pretty contained. I feel like the second season they were kind of all over the place and the timeline was really too long. This is a shorter time frame.
And that's kind of the point, right? This is maybe 3 days. They're never exactly very exact on how much time has passed, but this really is maybe over a course of a weekend or a week.
it's not long.
It's not long.
Like a week.
And that's why I like it, because instead of trying to have everyone have a different story and a bunch of different things going on at the same time, there was one thing going on, but it was showing how it was affecting the different groups of people.
Yeah.
And they kept certain characters apart for almost the entire season. So when they finally got...
Which was frustrating.
It is
but-
frustrating.
Right,
when they finally get back together, you're like, yes!
It is satisfying.
You hope.
Yeah.
And then there's characters, and like I said, we're not getting to spoilers here, so don't worry about it. I'm not going to spoil anything here. But there's things that happen with characters that do change what will happen in the next season. And I feel like they're still in their stride. And the Duffer Brothers have said that this could go 4 or 5 seasons.
I thought just 4. They're going 5, maybe.
I heard 4 or 5.
So yes on 5.
It'll end after 4 or 5 seasons.
Because Netflix will pay for this because they're like,
Yeah.
we're losing Friends and The Office.
Well, and-
Please make
I know, right?
Stranger Things everything.
Yeah. But overall, I really enjoyed this. I'd give it another B. Like, I think it was like B for the first season, C plus for the second season, maybe.
That's lower than I would have thought.
B
from-
minus. It's fuzzy. It's in there. I haven't really thought about it that much. But then this one goes back up to the original fun of
Okay.
the first season.
Yeah.
Kent?
Do you want me to go next?
Sure.
I kind of disagree, and I want to hear your points on the Thor Ragnarok thing. Because obviously there are jokes, and this series does it a ton because they need to balance out the nostalgia and the characterization. And I think where this show really excels are the characters. Granted, there's too little time in 8 episodes. Like, I am happy there's not a lot of filler, but they need more time on some central characters that are just totally ignored or kind of wasteful. Like, for example, Will, a character that gets nothing to do this series, this season at all.
He didn't do much in the first season either.
For obvious reasons. But there was finally a chance for him to do something, and they're like, okay. And then the sister,
Well, they made him super passive. Like he's a wallflower.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just
he wants to play a game. I mean,
Yeah,
that's not
exactly.
really a spoiler, but
yeah. He
that's
just
it.
wants to zone out and be away from things and avoid
he
life.
was in the Upside Down for the first
Of course,
season.
he's all traumatized.
He got probably 7 minutes of screen time in all of season 8.
No, you think of him or Lucas?
Season 3.
Both. Oh, good call. Sorry, yeah, season 3. Season 8, I'm already, because they're going to get there.
It would be crazy.
But I will say, like, I enjoy seeing these characters develop. They have changed over the course of 3 seasons. Like Steve, for example.
Yeah.
Great character now.
I physically too, though. I was watching a recap.
Are you talking about Steve physically?
Yes. Well, but I looked back because I was like, oh, the kids, they're
Steve
so
the
cute.
hair.
I went back and watched season 1, and I was like, or just the recap of season 1. I was like, oh my gosh, they're babies.
Yeah.
Like they're
Yes,
still
they are.
kids, but they, like you said, they are growing up.
Yeah. And I would say that there's a lot of things I don't like what they did with the characters, and maybe that's more of what happened in season 2. I didn't really like season 2 at all, really.
Okay.
I would probably give it like a C minus
Okay.
because it was kind of a copy
What
of
was the
season
first
1.
season, though?
First season? Probably a B.
Wow, we agree on that?
Yeah.
Weird.
Also, I'm going to give this season a B as well.
What?
Yeah. I actually enjoyed I enjoyed this season.
But you don't like the series.
See, everyone says that.
8 episodes is pretty tight. though.
Everyone says that, but like I actually enjoy watching it. I just don't get the hype. Like for me, I'm like, this isn't the next big thing.
You don't
This
get why
is
people
just
would dress up as 11 for Halloween?
That's fine if that's what you're into.
No one would do that.
Even
no
though
grown
everyone
men would
is
do
into
that anyway.
It was 11 and the 11th Doctor. I was combined.
It was because there's a double theme. Joel loves
Yeah.
it. But no, like I like this show. It's just when people are like Stranger Things is so amazing. I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it because essentially Stranger Things, and maybe I should save this for the real show. I watched this show the same reason I read the Twilight books. I needed to see what the fuss was. And now
You're
I know.
comparing Stranger Things to Twilight?
Yeah.
How dare you, sir?
I know. Sorry.
How dare you, sir?
That will be season 4. They'll take everything from Twilight and make it into season Stranger Things season 4. But no, I like where a lot of things went. I'll get into spoilers about my issues here because there's not.
Save it for the Dr. Matt show.
Yeah, there's a Dr. Matt show. But yeah, I would give it a B.
Okay. Jacob, you haven't finished the show,
So, I mean, one episode left.
but running at where you're
Yeah.
at.
So, well, backtrack since that's what we're doing here.
Yeah.
First season was a B+ for me. In fact, I was like, "Oh, this is great. This is a show that's on Netflix, and it isn't full of graphic content." No, so I'm able to go back, see family, and be like, "Hey, check out this show. It's pretty cool. It's like this fun throwback." Yeah, B+. The second one went off the rails a little bit, but there were some great moments in the season.
There were
too.
some fun moments in
Yeah,
there.
like there was some chills and there were some good times, but I didn't like how they handled a lot of stuff. And this one for me is already come back. I put it at about a B right now, and if the last episode satisfies, it might be a B+.
Can I change my rating? I just thought about this because I want to give it the B+ for the first season, only because of the cultural impact it made and how it resonated with people. Like I just feel like it had a little more than just the average, like not an average movie, of course, but a B movie. Like it had that B+. I think I agree with Jacob that it's a B+,
It is a B+.
and then probably a B-, and then this one is a B.
So you're raising everything a half grade.
No, this
Even
one stayed
season
C.
2, you put C+.
Well, I would say B-, C+. It's somewhere in there. I'd have to watch it a second time to really give it a full rating.
Go
but-
B+, C+, and then we'll see.
Season 2 for me felt like you were like, oh, that was a success. What do we do? Okay, we need more nostalgia. We need to do something with 11. Okay.
Does this hit your nostalgia buttons? Is it, or does it just go right over your head?
Does it go over my head?
Not over your head, but you know what I mean. Like just
Emotionally.
like, it doesn't matter.
Oh, when you said nostalgia machine, I think that was completely accurate. This is a straight up machine, which
But
we'll
does
be
the
talking
machine
about.
work,
Especially this
or
season.
do you rage against the machine?
I don't rage against it, but
What was the name of the first album, Kent?
it's self-titled.
Self-titled.
Yeah,
I won't forget
I like
now.
that you're trying to now go back and say. No, I think it does it because the Duffers are good writers and directors. They write it well because honestly, if they didn't, this would be a straight up copy of everything I know and love.
Okay.
I was watching season 3 just yesterday, and there's a character who is a reference to the Terminator, which isn't. I don't think is that a spoiler.
Yeah.
There's a reference to the Terminator. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, and my wife's like, "What are they doing? It's just the Terminator. Why are they doing that?"
Like just now, she's mad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Oh, that's so tacky. They're just ripping that off." And I go,
Yeah,
"You
babe.
know what this show's about, right?" And I'm like,
But that's what I feel. I feel like, and oh man, we gotta
we gotta save it for our actual
material.
shows.
But
Yeah.
I don't feel it's rips off as much as homages, and some are done very well. I feel. Okay, so season 3.
Yes.
Should we get into spoilers version?
Let's do it, Jake. We won't talk about the very end.
Okay,
until
yeah. If
we'll tell you to
yeah.
run away.
Okay, so save the very, very end, and then I will leave.
Okay, so here we go. Spoilers, 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 spoilers. Meow. Meow. Was that a Mew or
That's
that?
the Kitty
Muse?
Mind Player.
Do the Demogorgon sound.
No, it's not. It's not.
I'm trying
No,
to
not
eventually
disturbed.
get that,
Not disturbed. Yeah, Demogorgon, not disturbed.
So this season, some of the things I liked is I like that there have been repercussions from what happened. Meaning, like,
The pregnancy, you mean?
no.
Oh,
I mean, like Bob is dead, and so
Okay.
he's still
He
dead.
is.
Joyce is still dealing with that. 11 is growing up. That's just something that Hopper's going to have to deal with.
And she looks old.
Yeah.
And she
You should know. She
And
looks
there's a lot of
like she
kissing.
looks like Eddie Vedder from the '90s.
Like a young Eddie Vedder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I don't know. I liked a lot of it. One thing that bothered me, I felt they were way heavy-handed with the misogynistic journalists, the reporter, the news agency.
It was a little too much.
It was
I was
almost
like,
cartoony.
It was almost like, I'm not sure this is palatable.
It's like, calm down, Gary Busey's brother.
It's his son. That's
What?
Jake Busey, his son.
I thought Jake Busey was his brother.
No, it's his son.
Oh wow.
You know how old Gary Busey is, right?
Not really. The guy
right,
looks like he's 80 and 40 simultaneously.
Every time they're like, Nancy Drew, like you cringe inside, and you're meant to, but you're like, it's so overplayed.
It is.
And then when things go bad, like we're in spoilers, when they become monstrous,
Yes.
you're like, well, good. Like,
Yeah.
they're
Kill 'em,
evil
I don't care.
anyways. They're basically the same. Okay.
So, but what I was going to say is Shoot, what were we just talking about?
The Glob Monster.
Glob Monster. I kept thinking like maybe they're going to be able to save that lifeguard girl and her family, or maybe they're going to be able to save the old woman. And then when they start turning into jelly and absorbing into the monster, I was like, holy crap, they're gone.
Well, that's actually what's good because they're stakes.
Yeah.
See, and like I always ask for, like this is why I disagree. This isn't Thor Ragnarok at all. I mean,
Thor Ragnarok in just the look and tone.
Okay.
But that's what I mean. It's like the colorful,
because most
bright,
of it centers around
funny.
the mall the entire
Well,
time,
there's
which is awesome.
there's more winking at the camera. I feel like
I thought
There
so
is.
too.
yeah, it's
like the Terminator, like the
the
guy,
Terminator.
the
Like
guy
they
that's
even
walking
say
around.
Arnold. He's basically Arnold
Honestly,
Schwarzenegger.
No, he's like he's shaking the guy. He's like he's Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I'm like,
it's like
Even having
Yeah.
Russians as one of your main plots is winking at the camera. 'Cause you're like,
It is.
it's the 80s. There's the fear
Yeah.
of the Russians, and
Yeah.
kind of now. But as far as the Glob Monster goes, when I saw
Glob
the,
Monster.
yeah, that's
Mind
the name.
Flayer.
They need to name it Glob Monster.
They've been
when I
flayed.
saw the
Glob
rats,
Monster.
when the rats exploded at the beginning scene.
Oh.
I was like, yep, I'm in. That was all. No, seriously, that was all I needed to say.
Really?
Exploding
No,
rats.
I said this is going to get weird.
Take note, Marvel.
Because-
explode rats and Kent will love your movie.
Yeah, no more rabies. But for
Thor
me,
4.
season,
rats.
season 2 really failed because the Mind Flayer was really cool, but it was essentially the smoke monster from Lost. I was like, where's the real threat other than in the
Yeah.
mind and in another dimension? This one, I'm like, oh, it's going to become corporeal.
Yeah.
And I'm so into this.
And I was worried that they were going to repeat the same thing where Will was going to get possessed again.
okay, but Will's okay. I don't want to go off the Glob Monster yet because I feel like there's so much more to talk about there.
Right.
Because it
I
was
like that name.
monstrous. Like the effects they had, and they really stepped up their game as far as effects go.
Yeah, they got some
Yeah.
money in that. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, they're pouring money into this.
Well, and there were cool effects too, just like in the Void, for example.
In
when,
the fair.
When Eleven's at the
they
Void.
made the whole fair.
And that
Yeah.
whole thing with her like falling through the water, being pulled under the water,
Yeah, that
like,
was
those
cool.
effects, I was watching that going,
Yeah.
that's cool because it's terrifying.
Right.
I wonder what's going on. And she sees Billy and she falls backwards, that whole thing. But Billy, by the way,
Yes.
who I thought was a complete waste of a character in season 2.
But everyone loved him, though.
I didn't. I was like, what the heck is this guy doing here other than just being the new bully because Steve isn't a bully anymore.
Yeah, that is what it felt like.
And then this season, I was like, this guy's got acting chops. Like I really was
Well,
like,
he was
does.
in Power Rangers, Joel.
Obviously.
Dacre Montgomery, he was the Red Ranger.
no.
Yeah. You like that movie? You like that movie now? He's the Red
What?
Ranger.
Yeah.
What is his name?
Dacre Montgomery.
I can't believe you
D-A-C-
forgot that performance.
D-A-C-R-E
forgot that
Montgomery.
movie.
No, everyone loves him. He and
Yeah,
Steve
no,
are
he was
like
good.
everyone's favorite at this point. Actually, I thought he was a bit wasted in this season too, because yes, it's centered around him, but there were like 4 straight episodes where there was no mention of the Mind Flayer or him. In fact, I was like,
Yeah, but he's not a
Guys,
main.
he's in that new Power Rangers movie.
I know, Joel.
He's so greasy.
He is so greasy, the mullet. And
Yeah.
everyone loves him.
But why? I didn't get what
Actually,
ladies love him.
I'll say this: there was some. They did this weird plot line where he loves cougars, right? And he was supposed to meet up with Will's mom
Right.
or Mike's mom.
Mike's mom.
And I thought that was the weirdest thing because they never revisit it. There was a whole crisis of conscience, and I know they had to get him to a certain area in town,
Mm-hmm.
but it still felt like this weird thing where they're like, let's just leave that be.
Well,
it felt stupid. Honestly,
it was
I mean,
a
they
little
wrapped it
stupid.
up though.
But the whole point
With
is
her?
that no, she's about to, and then she sees her oafish husband sitting on the couch cuddling their
but
little
why
daughter.
even go there? Because it kind of left this skeeve factor.
There was definitely a
I think
factor.
they had to remind you in the very, very beginning of this that he is a bad dude. But he's not an evil dude. He's a bad dude, right?
He wasn't even a bad
Because
dude.
when he's talking to Max when he's in the sauna and he's like, I
he's
tried
a-
to stop it. I tried to stop it. But he's still a jerk. Like,
Well, he's a cocky teenager. I mean, that's really like the extent of his character.
Well, and trying to seduce cougars and so forth.
Yeah.
But okay, so let's jump on to another stuff. Well, do anything else you want to say about Billy?
I want to talk about the other main plot because I think
He wants to talk about cougars more.
the invasion of the body snatchers plot. I really enjoyed that
Invasion
one.
of Body Center / the Blob.
You slash the thing, right? All that together because it's Stranger Things.
It didn't feel as scary though
No.
as like the first or even the second season.
No, the scare factor is lower.
Yeah.
It's more just
was
like
there scare
gruesome.
factor in this one? I'm trying to think.
No.
No, the scare factor is basically like them freaking out on the hospital bed and like all at the same time. That was basically it. Or them turning into the glob monster in the hospital. That
Or
was
the
only
crazy
really,
old lady eating fertilizer, which once
That-
again was kind of poorly explained. But
But that was effective though. Is it like when I saw her gobbing away
Yeah.
on that fertilizer, I was like, I don't need to see her like
Okay,
actually trying to kill them. That was actually creepy.
we need to go back to the Mind Flayer. And this does not give anything away for
Okay.
the last episode, Jake. So I'll tell
Okay.
you if it does. It seemed like it was lazy, or at least it was overcomplicating its own plot to take certain people out. It seems like the Mind Flayer honestly was like, I'm just looking for minions, and I could do this any other way. Like since it was trying to go for 11. Have you seen that yet, Jake? Is that okay to say?
So no, because it's Billy is possessed and he's in the house in the upside or whatever the world is.
The void is when she's in all black.
Yeah, but then it was the void where she's in the house, nobody else is there, and the Mind Flayer's talking to her through Billy.
This gets a full half, well, I'll say a half grade drop because so many people could have died, but they stretched it out because anytime the Mind Flayer could do something, it threw someone. And it was this trope in movies where
There's a lot of throwing.
the villain throws the good guy, even though it could clearly impale them or eat them or anything else, but it throws them to extend the action and
There's
so
a
they can
lot
run away.
of throwing going on from all characters.
Like probably
Well, it's a
10
kid show.
times.
There was a part when
Is
Hopper
it a kid show?
Well, it's the Goonies.
Yeah.
You know, Goonies. It's not like what else do we have?
Save it for our Stranger Things show.
Yes.
which is happening on Monday. But I agree with Jacob though that it is kind of this like kind of a softer way of doing it because they could go the full thing and like just do body horror all the time. But I think that the throwing around is kind of this softball approach.
Yeah.
So I agree they threw around people way too much. There's like a fight with Hopper when I'm like, you both have guns. What are you doing? But
How'd you guys feel about the Russians?
loved him? Well, I loved the one.
Hated him. Yeah, the one has use. The rest, they disappear. Like there's no real.
No, for me,
Use for 'em.
the Russians are landing flat. And of course, I haven't seen the last episode again.
They'll
I'll
still
say
land
that.
flat, to be honest.
But yeah, it's like I don't quite feel any threat here. It's kind of like and Russians. That's what
Jacob,
it feels like. Underground facility.
Yeah.
Russians.
Real quick, I
Red
wanted to
Dawn references.
before I forget to make sure
Yeah.
to watch through into the credits of the last episode because there is a little stinger.
Oh, a stinger. Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's good for the listener to
for
know,
the listener
too.
to know as well. Just it's not all the way at the end. It's just kind of mid credits.
And by the way, Netflix will try to make you watch the trailer for some crappy show they produce. So just go back to the
tried.
screen on the left.
they tried to get me to watch Grace and Frankie. It's like, hey, watch the trailer for Grace and Frankie. I'm like, no.
And you go up to the screen and they're like, play.
Yeah, it drives me nuts.
Yeah, I hated the Russians. I think
Is
it was.
Netflix in trouble?
Why? With Russians?
No. Just generally.
I know they were.
Oh, that's another
something-
show altogether.
It's a whole show, actually.
No, something bombed. I don't remember what it was. One of their TV shows bombed, and so they're cutting back funding.
Oh,
for
that
TV
was
shows.
third three. What was that? Ben Affleck.
The Fortune. No,
Triple Frontier.
Triple. I was close.
that
I had
movie
three.
that bombed. It was a TV
that
show
was
or movie.
That was the one
It
movie.
was a movie, but murder mystery. Apparently, Netflix throws out numbers.
Yeah,
they're
made
saying
so much.
so many people watched it.
Yeah, so it was like 33 million.
They got to
to
throw these out there because they're just scared of Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Disney Plus is coming, and they got to
Well,
make it seem
and
like they're
Comcast.
released.
And now HBO Max.
Yeah.
God, terrible name.
So many things.
It's like Cinemax and
Stranger
HBO
Things.
coming
Okay,
together.
Joel, you
This
gotta
could
bring
be
up-
a show,
we
though,
keep
but yeah.
interrupting you.
No, I was going to say I liked the Russians only because they were this silent Cold War threat rather than an actual menace. When you get down there, they're just people. They're just scientists, just doing their thing. And so I was okay with
in
that.
Hawking, Indiana.
In Hawkins, Indiana, yes.
At the mall, and the way that
But
they
they
discovered
explain
the
it.
Green
No, that
goo.
was so stupid. Like I liked
Oh,
it.
the green slime. The
yeah.
acid green slime. They're sitting there
Mm-hmm.
like ducks.
How did
I-
ducks
I-
sit?
I'm actually debating
Please
whether-
imitate this.
I don't know
Go
how
on.
this is this far. Have you seen this, Jacob? Like them downstairs in the bunker with the green sitting around.
Yeah.
They're basically waiting around, and they're like, "Oh, if we get caught, what are we going to do?" And I'm like, "Take one of those jars and throw it at people."
Yeah.
Like, why was that not utilized more? Anyway,
Yeah, that's
just me.
true. That's true.
They're basically
That
like
could have been gruesome fast.
Like any chance where I'm like, oh, this is dumb, or that was too easily solved. I'm like, oh, these are bumbling kids on a Hardy Boys adventure. Like, and I got to stop holding it to like a high standard because really it is.
they didn't want the kids
show.
murdering people, probably.
Probably.
Yeah, but they should have, or thrown them against the wall because that works
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, that works.
I really like for some reason the titles of some episodes I really enjoyed. Like chapter 6 is called E Pluribus Unum, which is from many one. You know, it's an American thing. But that's the episode when all the blob monsters kind of come together into the
great.
one, and I'm like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So
How'd you guys
Mall
feel
rat.
about the Joyce's plot in this season?
I liked it.
With the magnets.
I liked it only because
Hated it the entire time.
No,
it was a loose thing, but it was her thing.
It was like, what do we
But
get
she's
Joyce to do?
overreacting.
And
Yeah.
she's like, the magnets. And I'm
like,
like,
she
wait,
has Christmas lights.
Is this it?
No,
like, the
but-
Christmas lights, okay, because it's your son and you can act hysterical. But the magnets and you're
No,
going to
the
act
magnets.
hysterical?
I don't think that they didn't dwell on the magnets long enough as like a reoccurring issue. It was a one-time thing, but she obsesses over it because that's what her character would do, and she's right almost every time.
I guess you're right on that one, but I think they were trying to put honestly
Too much hysteria.
This season was a lot of misleads. Like they put she and Hopper together, gave them some chemistry, but they were yelling at each other the entire time. And then it's just like, will they, won't they? And then there's the same thing with Steve and Ethan Hawke's daughter. And it's just
Ethan
so
Hawke
many.
and Uma Thurman's daughter, please.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, if you don't
Maya
know,
Hawke
really?
is her
Yeah,
name.
Robin.
Maya Hawke. Is.
Robin is the character
Ethan
Robin.
Hawke
Ethan
and
Hawke
Uma Thurman's
daughter.
child?
Watch
Yes.
it. Ever since I found out, I can't. She
By the
sounds
way,
exactly like
she'll
Uma
be
Thurman.
like the biggest thing in the indie world from now on because it's
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman's daughter.
Wow.
Like, I
I
think
thought
she's
she had
already
an
got it.
interesting look, but yeah.
Listen for it. You'll hear Uma Thurman in her voice
Okay.
now.
Okay.
Do we want Jake to leave or can we just allude? I know we're giving
Okay,
spoilers.
Let's do it. Let's do a double spoiler alert. Jacob, we're going to do it.
All right. I'm going to leave.
Okay, double spoiler.
Is there anything
alert.
else I want to say?
You
No.
tell us.
Go watch it. It's pretty good.
So far B, but the last episode can make
Yeah.
it a B plus.
All right. I'm leaving. I'm going to go hang out with Kent's mom.
Oh, burn!
Yeah, but he is though.
She's got access to the bacon cave now?
So when everyone dies, Joel, that was pretty crazy.
I could not believe it.
All right, we're just giving
Okay.
Jake a second.
So now we're into Chapter 8, Battle of Starcourt. Spoilers, 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 spoilers.
Okay, the last episode is about an hour 17 minutes. I like
Is
how
it
I
that
say
long?
that. Yeah, it's that long. And it needed
I like
to
how
be
that's long.
Yeah. It needed to be because there's, this season is so short that they need to accomplish a lot, get everyone back together.
Yeah.
And obviously do something major at the end.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the deaths first, or do you want to talk more about like the siege at the mall, which I love that it took place at the mall.
I do too. And I love the parallel, by the way.
Yeah.
Of people were frustrated because the mall was making all these small town stores close down.
Yeah.
And I paralleled that to now when the online stores are making the malls close down.
Yes.
It's a circle of the industry.
Exactly. And malls are, I mean, even though there's an underground facility and some conspiracy regarding the mall,
Yeah.
Malls are so 80s and 90s that it's honestly perfect for Stranger Things.
Did you like the firework attack? Because it was basically filler. They weren't really destroying
in
it.
fact,
They were
that's
just
what I was
hurting
going to bring up with the semi-giant mind flayer, which cool design. Like
Right.
I freaking love it. But no, the firework attack, there was a lot of distractions, a lot of the monster being dumb for dumb's sake. And honestly, the monster could have just ended it so many times that I kind of lost interest in everyone hiding behind cabinets.
Okay.
And also using, I'm not sure the point of using Billy still, because everyone else exploded and became the mind flayer.
Right.
And then you still had Billy, I guess, for the plot line.
He was the right hand man. He's the lieutenant. It made enough sense to me that I was willing to forgive it.
Yeah.
But I thought, like I said, I thought he had acting chops. Like at the end
yeah,
there,
he
when
does.
he's trying to save them, I was like, all right, you didn't redeem yourself. Well, he redeemed himself.
Yes. And you know me, there was one moment where I really just couldn't stop smiling. It was the song, Never Ending Story
Yes,
song.
which was mildly spoiled for me, I believe, by it's either Sam Ma or Spencer Larson, one of you guys.
Yeah, I like how you're calling him out.
Yeah, because I remember I was scrolling through and they're like, not really spoilers, but, and then they said like Dustin plus Susie, and then they had the Never Ending Story theme song.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, so there's going to be a song with Dustin and Susie. So the whole time, the whole series, I kept waiting for it.
Yeah.
And it never happened. And then when that part, she's like, do it, or I won't help you. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, they're going to sing Never Ending Story. And yet I still laughed like a madman when they started on it.
Yeah.
They're really singing, by the way, the two actors.
Are they really?
They're really
This
singing.
is so cute.
And it's available for download on iTunes.
Oh, of course it is. Yeah.
But that was so much fun.
So
It went on a little long.
of course it did. I didn't really feel like Hopper's death was really all that impactful. Yeah, okay.
Death.
The death they show, because of course he's not dead. And of course there will be no lasting impact other than Joyce still being frazzled, which she is anyways.
But they're moving away
But just,
with 11, which was weird. Why is 11 going with Mike's or Will's family?
Yeah.
When it was Mike who's like, you can live with my family.
oh, because then it'd be like a sister and then, yada, yada, yada. It's not okay.
All right, I guess.
Plus, they need to have them separated so when they do season 4, obviously, I think season 4 will have Will getting an impression because that's what they teased. And I actually feel like Will was slighted in this season. He kept getting like the chills and he'd be like, something's happening. Everyone's like, yeah, I know it's happening right now.
It's like the world's blowing up around him
yeah.
and he's like,
Guys,
it's
my
warmer in here. I
Exactly.
think the bad guys are here.
And I feel either he or 11 will get impression and they'll all go back to town. And they're doing it for the reunion for Mike and 11 to kind of meet once again because that will have impact for us as viewers and them as characters.
Did you get at all emotional at the Hopper letter?
No, you did though.
Holy crap! You
did?
Because you have daughters. How did that not get you?
Yeah,
Because I started thinking about my daughters and what I would say to them in such a situation, or like when they're growing up, they're changing, and I'm like,
yeah. No, I liked it. I think it was a good moment and, a nice farewell. But once again, it was a trope used in so many things that I think the Duffers...
So many 80 movies?
Yeah, the Duffers did it well. Like, they take these things, and thank goodness they're good writers and good storyboard creators so that they can plan it well. And I think they use a trope very well, but no emotional impact, really.
Do you like Murray, by the way?
Which one is Murray?
He's the lawyer dude, the reporter, the bald guy with the beard that speaks Russian.
Oh, no.
You don't like him?
I mean, it's comic relief, but he was such a huge part of this season.
He was a lot. Well, I think last season he was a surprise hit.
Yes.
So they brought him back in for a more featured role in this one.
Yeah.
But, okay, so let's get more into the spoiler type stuff.
Yeah, so Hopper's letter, obviously. So Hopper is definitely the American, right?
Well, okay, so yeah, if you haven't seen it, I don't know why you're listening to this.
Yeah.
But if you haven't seen it, there's an explosion in the lab. You see a bunch of Russian people get kind of disintegrated, for lack of a
it's
better
the
word.
second time it happens. So it teases that it's going to happen again.
And then you don't see Hopper actually disintegrate, but he's gone once the explosion happens. Then in the mid-credit stinger, it shows this base in Russia, because this is all taking place in Indiana, a base in Russia. They're going to get someone. They're like, no, leave the American, get this other guy. And they bring him down to see an adult Demogorgon.
Demogorgon, yeah.
And so it's implied that Hopper and the Russians all got teleported over to Russia.
Teleported?
That's what I'm guessing.
That's so... It's such a stretch, but this show, it doesn't matter, I guess.
Think about this. If they're using like the Cronenberg's The Fly,
yes,
as kind of a reference there, where it's like,
actually, yeah,
teleportation.
Sure. I mean, why not?
Maybe some DNA got messed up in the process, and maybe now Hopper's part Demogorgon or something. I don't know.
Oh, that would be kind of cool.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's what they were going for. Is more of the teleportation device type thing.
Okay. And then how did you feel about 11 just getting weaker and weaker as her nose gets bloodier and bloodier?
I liked it only because I didn't want to have another season where
She's
it ends
kind
with
of a
her.
Deus Ex
It
Machina.
doesn't end with her pointing her hands at something and making the problem go away.
Okay.
She tried and it wasn't working, and so then when they resolved it themselves without 11, almost.
That's true. Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm okay with this. And her powers are gone, quote unquote.
Are they?
Well, she couldn't really do much with the stuffed animal at the end, if you remember when they're packing up.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, they'll come back, but I like that they took them away only because it's that tried and true storyline where it's like you take away their crutch at the end and they have to learn to do something on their own.
Yeah, that's true. Because, I mean, you saw that like the gang was basically useless without her, but somehow still went out in the end.
Paul Reiser, I want to know how much he got paid to stand there for one shot.
Absolutely.
And not say a word and have the camera just zoom into him.
Yeah.
Because the whole time they kept saying Dr. Sam Owens, and I'm like, who is that? And then it suddenly hit me, and I was like, oh, Paul Reiser. And then when he showed up, I was like, oh, there he is. No lines, nothing, just showing up.
It's perfect.
Like, okay.
Why not? The guy you're not going to trust. Like,
Took him long enough.
yeah.
I loved, one of my favorite parts actually was Steve coming back and hitting Billy's car.
Oh, yeah.
Stopping it before it got to them. That was a really fun moment for me. Like, I love that when, the Han Solo moment when he comes in at the end.
Right.
And surprises everyone that he got back in time.
They've done so much good for his character that I don't even remember him being the jock in season 1.
Yeah. If you watch, I watched that recap, I'm like, oh, yeah, he was a slime ball and I hated him. But now it's like, Steve the Hare.
Jonathan and Nancy are my least favorite characters. Hate him. I don't care for Nancy. I think Jonathan I think they're dating in real life, but it seems like they have no chemistry. It's the weirdest thing.
Well, also it kind of bugged me that Nancy was just like towing poor Jonathan along, and he kept being like,
We're gonna lose our jobs.
I don't think we should do this. And she's like, we're doing it. And he's like, okay.
One of my big problems with this season or series, and maybe they dropped it about 2 episodes in, but someone says there's something strange happening here in Hawkins, and everyone will be like, nah. It's like, have you seen what's happened?
Speaking of which, Max, the redhead.
Yes.
She drove me nuts in this season.
Yeah.
Because I had to keep remembering, wait, did she see everything that happened in the last season?
Did she?
Yes. She fought Demodogs. I know that. But I was just like, she kept saying things where it was like, that's not important. This is more important. Talking about boys and shopping.
She would be like
important.
the antagonist the entire time.
She was so antagonistic.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking, Max, you realize that 11 can't be in public because the government is after her. And she's like, why can't she be here, Mike? And I'm like, because she could die.
Right.
Maybe it was just the dad in me coming out.
Well, she's just a selfish character, so it's hard to really...
She just felt like she felt like she was a newcomer to this world, which she kind of is, but that she hadn't seen any of the stuff they've seen.
So do you think for Hawkins, because I would say 50 people kind of disintegrated, turned into the blob monster, the blob monster. But so many people died in Hawkins. Do you think it's ever going to be spoken to?
I'm sure it will, just because they had the Justice for Barb stuff last season. I think,
not just from fans though, but also from the city.
I mean in the show, like they had a whole funeral scene for Barb because of.
By the way, I've never liked Barb. No justice for Barb. No, I thought I'm like, good, she's dead. Fine, that's okay. I'm like, that's my hot take of the show.
Yeah, but then so then. With this one, I think that if they do another season in Hawkins, it's going to have like a memorial for those they lost.
Okay.
Although I don't know how they're going to...
No, it'll be years later. It'll be like a year and a half later, most likely.
Well, because they think they all got lost in a mall fire, I think is what they're going to say.
Oh.
Because the government has going to have to cover it up. Because they still don't know if anything supernatural is going on.
Okay. No one saw the Mind Flayer go through the woods or anything like that?
No, they saw the trees moving, remember? But they didn't actually see her.
The Mind Flayer that could have just squished the house that everyone was in, but went in with its little suckers and got stopped. There's so many times the Mind Flayer could have killed everyone and should have.
Well, keep in mind, it doesn't really understand this world.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Should we wrap this up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. It's our longest bacon bit ever. But yeah, we're definitely worth watching. I mean, it's
if you like Stranger Things, this is on par with the rest of it. This is still fun stuff.
Yeah, this is my second favorite season. And
out of 3.
Not a huge drop, honestly, from the first season.
No, I think I'm surprised with how they're able to keep up steam with this series.
It seems like they're going to run out.
And I hope they don't.
Right?
But we'll see. Stranger things have happened, Kent.
Oh my gosh.
Yes!
All right, with that, we have to leave. Hey.
All bound for Moo Moo Land.
Moo Moon Land?
Moo Moo Land.
It's not Moo Moo Land.
It's Moo Moo Land.
What was that song?
I don't know, but I remember very distinctly
Moo
looking
Moo.
it
Wait,
up.
so when they go Moo Moo Land, Moo Moo Land, that sounds like I would have made it up.
All bound for Moo Moo Land.
Justified, and we're ancient.
Still no master plan. To the bridge, to the bridge, to the bridge now. Bring the beat back.
Hey.
All bound for
Moo
Justified.
Land. Hey.
Okay. Man, I'm going to have to jam to that on the way home.